I'm here right now with Itopata, coach of Leviathan. Now, Itopata, talent can be a bit of a puzzle, even to Pacific team. So I'm really curious how you, as a coach, prepared for this team, especially with some of the more unique compositions that they might run.
We didn't really look into them that much because they have a new player. They changed a lot of their compositions. It's more like we kind of focused on ourselves, and we just wanted to make sure that we can kill their aggression, and that was the key in the first map.
Well, I guess it seems to be working because they did close out that first map. Let's see if they can get the second as well.
Coach Itopata talking about killing the aggression. Let me tell you, some squeaky bum time over there.
Yes.
All right, because that aggression almost won Talon that bind.
Absolutely.
And had they won that, that would have put them in a much better position in this entire series. But welcome back, everyone, as we break everything down. I mean, Talon coming out of the gate swinging, guys. I mean, Mimi, that was exactly what Talon needed, but they needed to get that win.
Yeah, what they needed was the win. And I really thought LEV was going to win this map, win this series, but I did not expect it to be in this fashion. Yes, my big thing was that Leviathan in the playoffs in Americas, we saw their fundamentals, their ability to shut down star players, their synergy as a team was absolutely on point. But this match thus far has been more like the old LEV that is reliant on individual moments, on winning out in scrappy, muddy rounds. It is.
But how much of that was Talon forcing that versus LEV? What do you think, Brett?
I think to a certain degree that's an excellent point to make, is that this comp that Talon are running, they want to fight, they want to skirmish, they want to brawl 24/7 with the flashes that they've got. And I think it did force LEV to either, what they were going into was trying to disrupt even the retake protocols by fighting ahead of before they could get in and flash.
Yeah, those flood retakes with all the flashes.
But they weren't playing that together, so there was a lot of individual swings, and it looked really sloppy, really muddy. Lovely Leviathan gameplay that I was hoping was in the past, but we saw it there.
Yeah.
But they did get into the they did adapt pretty well in terms of just realizing that they could go into these full site execs, get the plant down, and as soon as they started playing together a lot more, making sure they weren't taking those solo 1v1s a lot of the time, that's when that was the turning point. But my God, was it still close?
Yeah.
It was incredibly close, and I think this is something we were talking about a lot. The positives of that comp was how disruptive it was out of Talon, right? The really fast plays with the Neon, with the Yoru. I think they were pushing LEV off kilter, and I think that's where a lot of the mud came from. Yeah. But I think what killed them was not having enough util, as they do in the more normal comps, where you have a Brim Molly, something like that, you have a Raise Nade, all these tools to disrupt, plant, and delay before you go into that flood retake. Yeah. They didn't have that. They only had one snake bite. So they couldn't kill the wingman, they couldn't deny the plants, and when they were playing the flood retakes, the timer was already ticking, and Lev's post-plant stall was really good.
Yeah, but there were some awesome moments from that map. Takes us to our Verizon high-speed moment. This one's going to go to Governor. Y'all saw it. You saw it coming, guys. Okay, I mean, look at this.
This was so nice.
He looks at him and says, made you look, and then he turns right, pops him once. Guy comes around the corner, and look at him. He's going for a lovely run around the park today, and it's always a Viper. Wait a minute. Let me go. Pop. There you go. One more. And then he found another one around the corner almost. It was like clockwork for him.
He was so committed outside showers that entire time. I was like, how the hell is he going to escape from this? Because the site was given up. There was a player flanking him. They were squeezing him here. Puts the wall up, takes the decision, lays down the stun preemptively, knowing there could be a player there, and then still hits the quick scope. Like, that is nasty stuff from Governor, showing you that, listen, there's no team at Champs right now, I think, that doesn't deserve to be here. Yeah. And especially these players as individuals. As much as we're talking about heavy favorites being this way, that way, I think Champs, I've been proven wrong every single year thinking that, oh, this matchup is just an absolute slam dunk for one team, because you never know when that upset potential is going to come through.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And also, what I think is the sweet irony of it being Governor on comm there, which I thought was quite funny.
Against his old buddy to pull that one off. But I think you're absolutely right. I think that Talon, this was possibly the most Talon game possible, right? Where they come out with a new surprising composition. I feel like they're like Paper Rex Jr. With all the disruptive stuff. They have insane individual moments. They have a solid game plan, but then it's a couple individual mistakes, some fundamental errors at the end that loses them the game. And that's the heartbreaking way that we've seen them go down multiple times in the Pacific season.
For sure, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and check in with Talon's coach to see what he has to think as they get ready for map number 2.
Hey guys, I've got Frost with me, coach of Talon Esports. Now, that was a really close scoreline on Bind, but it's not a map that we've seen you guys on in quite some time. So can you explain, I guess, the logic or the reasoning behind the map draft? Enlighten us a bit.
Yeah, in Pacific, I believe our win rate was 100%. People kept banning it against us, so we never really got to play it again. As for why we picked the characters we picked, I mean, I think people have become too inflexible in this game. Everybody is now using the 100 Thieves comp on that. There are a ton of other characters and compositions that you can use on bind. That bind is really good if you know what you're doing. We had all the advantage in the world. We probably should have won 13-6, but too many throws, too many mistakes, and too much inexperience, and we're not going to win like that.
Well, we'll see if Talon can manage to make a comeback as we head on over to the second map.
And of course, there you hear Coach Frost, you know, telling it like it is, and very direct on that as well.
I mean, there were a lot of moments where they were up and they made mistakes. I don't think all of that can be prescribed to just mistakes. I think it was a lot of LEV rounds that they stole more so, but that can't be happening if you want to win against a team this good.
I think he's talking about like inflexibility and people. Listen, I'm all for innovation in Valorant, but there's a reason why that comp is being played on binds, the 100 Thieves comp, like he give credit for. And it's because it's so good in various other aspects. You can refight, you have flashes to constantly brawl and contest early, you have post-plant denial, you have utils to even get yourself into the post-plant. You have some amazing ults too. And when you hyper-focus on just flash brawling that potential, you lose all those other elements with the comp, which was missing for Talon, but still, they had a chance to win it. The next map coming up, which was what, Ascent?
Yes.
That's a hard ass,
I mean,
honestly.
Leviathan have looked electric on this map. They switched over to that kind of NA Tier 2 classic with the deadlock and the Cypher. That's not the crazy comp. Okay.
Back at it again.
So they switched off this comp, but Talon have played it before. Before they had Primi, the zombie comp, as it's been coined. You have a ridiculous amount of revives. I mean, an insane comp here, but we talk about what you're giving up when you're playing this way. One thing you're giving up, a Sentinel, information on your defense. Another, you only have Clove Smokes, which go down pretty quickly. It does lend itself to faster executes, but it's a little bit more difficult to default and play the map in the way you would with that default Ascent.
And I also think Mizzino locking in the deadlock here could actually be quite detrimental to the way they want to approach this.
Yeah, and I hope that they've been taking notes, not from Sentinels, but I think Tier 2 NA in general, because they are playing this comp better than almost anyone. It has incredible tools. If you know how to use the comp, it is incredibly strong. And yeah, honestly, they need to focus on their own game, honestly. Just ignore what you're seeing in the Agents League against Talon. Maybe think about those strengths, but yeah, it's wild, man, what Talon's trying to pull out.
It's going to be awesome. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the map. We're going to send it over to your casters, Mitch, and that old dude, Tom.
All right, I'm here with the old dude, and it's time to kick this one off.
Well, you got the toss from the even older dude. So
yeah, that's
nice.
right. But look, Tom, we're coming into this one. Leviathan, they clinched out that last one, 13-11. I mean, it was close. Talon almost had it. It's got to feel tough. You know, losing those long maps, they often feel the worst. Now they come in, the zombie comp that we've heard about from the Pacific Talon, it has a challenge. I am a certified deadlock hater, but I was watching back some of how LEV play deadlock on this map. Attack side, because that was my real curiosity. I think defense, you'll have similar ideas, but I really enjoyed some of the traps they were putting down. I think the wall's super useful, combining with the traps. It'll be interesting to see how Talon deal with that. They certainly have an interesting approach, let's say.
Yeah, it's going to be a brawl. I don't think there was ever a question about that. Throwing in, like, you basically have a lot less duelists than maybe you'd have expected, but ones that can all be played as duelists. Your controller can be played as a duelist. Even your initiator to an extent can be. And Primi, well, we've always talked about Battle Sage. That's an interesting wall, just to get them the opportunity to fight and ignore Heaven. That's the only plan of it, was to try and fight Com, and it succeeded. They've only just spotted out the cam, but they're going to get themselves into the afterplant, and Tex is going to have to wait a sec before he can break the door.
Tell you what, these guys are not worried about what everyone else does. They're playing their own game out here, that's for sure. Talon losing Ban in the back lines. They send back Primi to try and deal with Aspas, and he's done exactly that. Good round for Primi already. Let's see what else can be done. Governor, oh, he's caught by Mizzino. That's the double kill that puts LEV back in it. And with Cruz on the site, he will not last long. Isolated, Primi's gonna go for the ace. The wall drops at just the wrong time. And with that, Leviathan get another pistol.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt. Again, you see a lot of the ideas that Talon have early. I think the initial reveal that sort of gave away all of them, but they had the wall to block anybody from Heaven actually being able to challenge, and then just spamming back through the door. I think the big thing was just what Mazzino was able to get done. He had a bit of a rough previous map back on the Initiator, but as you said, I feel like a lot of the utility he uses here, very cool and on the attack side, but also just in retake scenarios. You can just lock off certain portions of the map, make things a little bit more difficult. And, well, for Governor, he didn't have the slide to get out of that one. He's just going to be back on the Sova.
Yeah, that's an interesting point as well. When you look at the duelists in play, I think Ban had a good map last time, but oh, Lord. Calm, big fan. Love your darts.
Well, they had a grav net there as well, so if anybody had gone that far forward, they were stuck crouching while he spams.
I mean, that's a pretty damn good shock dart. 49, and, well, Ban's healing up a little bit, but that's all thanks to Primi.
So he's using an Ares. You hate that gun too.
I do, yeah. I was trying to avoid really saying it, but my disdain, I think, was audible. It's just not a good weapon, to be honest with you. Get a Guardian, less bullets, but you're going to actually hit them for damage. That said, Shock Dart's done a hell of a job. Recon goes through, B main clear. Now you can start shifting right a little bit with Mazzino covering off mid. No one's there. So they've got a good idea that the A site is the intended hit with weaker weapons in play for Talon. There's no need for Lev to get aggressive, and this little jump spot from Tex will get them all the info they need.
He is somewhat isolated. Although saying that, the players on the cross have definitely helped out, trying to conserve some ammo, but every shot fired makes him more vulnerable. Primi with another kill. He's getting closer and closer to that res, but everything else looks very comfortable for Leviathan. It will be a 2-0 start, another pistol and conversion. And I said it last time, the buy that they have going into round number 3 as a bonus, it's not the most conventional. At least from what we see in EMEA, you see a lot more rifles, but ultimately, they managed to make it work last time. So I'm not going to question it until they actually lose this round.
Yeah, I think just in general, we see the rise of the rifle second round, and then you even invest 1 or 2 more if things don't go the way you're planning. A lot of the time you can compete for that 3-0. For Lev, doesn't look like they're competing for it necessarily. But again, hinging around this outlaw. If you can tag somebody, someone's down to 10 HP, well, every other weapon on the board is going to have a field day in taking them down, or the early spams doing the damage. Calm last time, playing towards the B site. Now he's on short. Definitely not a conventional Ares angle. He's going to try to spam it down and do some damage, slow them on the way through, fire his shock darts, and just generally be a headache for Talon to deal with.
That's a lot more tentative. Patient stuff. You can see the sensors set up in mid, and the timing of the wall is sublime. It's going to have to be broken. A lot of players already here for Leviathan. They're reliant on their utility elsewhere, the setup of Tex, and the sheer delay that they have on that side of the map. The wall is going to section anybody off from helping quickly, and the pressure is going to be on.
Well, the pressure's off Tex. He's taken out immediately. The reveal was dangerous, but they're safe behind the wall. Ban out with the flash. Not able to convert on the back of it, though. Has to slow it down slightly, and the spams are doing damage. Cruz and Jip Boys down low, but not out of the round just yet. And with the plant going through, the advantage most certainly sits with the attackers. Retake for Lev. It's not going to be extremely strong. Most of their utilities already being burnt up. Perhaps, I mean, even the recon, that's 15 seconds left. It's going to take some time.
It's going to take too long, if anything. I think they might just have to make their move or go for exits. And well, the exits, if they can pick up an extra rifle, would be nice. I do think there's a realization, though, from the side of Talon that, okay, we need to start working to get out of here. We need to make sure that we're not being locked in. We're going to be able to escape, and well, you can see Mazzino attempting a couple of things, but it is all too easy for the side of Talon. No damage done whatsoever. Primi still fragging away. He's already got his res online. It's not like he needs it. He's had it for a while. And for Aspas, he's just going to hold on to an outlaw. That in the next round, not too much of an issue.
Still going to give him some potential for sure. But yeah, Talon with a very impressive follow-up. Coming into the 4th round, they're going to have res online as well. And the slow play, blitzing into the site after contact, eliminating Tex from mid. This is what we want to see, bypassing some of that deadlock utility as well. It was, I believe, a sonic sensor waiting for them. There were Cypher traps as well. Like, they definitely ran into a pretty heavy setup, but it didn't look like it. They made that one look easy. Now, though, I don't think we're going to see the same scenario. Rifles in play for Lev. Yes, you still have the outlaw, but, well, we're not shying away from a battle with it. You can see Aspas very keen to take this fight. Dodges the flash, tries to block the reveal, but he doesn't get that done. And now, well, he's going to have to dodge these spams.
Yeah, the dash already gone. No real way to escape. You can see the switch up in setups, the sensors over on the A site now with deep control from King. Jitboy has made sound. He is alone. This fight could end up being quite important. It either leaves Mazzino completely alone, or it makes this a bit more of an awkward fight for the side of Talon. For now, just more of a back and forth of battles. The problem, though, is that Aspas is somewhat stuck in this corner, and well, blink and you miss it. 3 dead.
Well, I don't know how you recover from this one. Mazzino hoping that they run into his trap, but that's not going to be the case. Big rotation, he just about misses his window. Does feed the information over, but look at the mid play from Jitboys. He's there at just the right time. Calm left alone. Odin in hand. This will be a play that I'll remember for the rest of my life if it works out, but he won't even get the first.
That reminds me of your Odin plays.
Thank you. You're saying I have champions winning material in me. I appreciate that.
No, I'm saying you get 0 kills.
All right, okay. Well, that's just not factually true. But for Calm so far, it has been a little rough, as it has been these last 2 rounds for Lev. I mean, Talon definitely stepping up to the plate in the early half.
Yeah, I like how patient they're being. Again, like you've sacrificed yourself an extra initiator, so on that defense you kind of have to go pushing and probing a little bit, like sending Aspas to kind of have a look and take some fights. And I think the timing was actually decent from Lev to just go for that double swing, but they peeked into a firing squad. Like Talon were fully prepared to just wait that one out. As you mentioned, the attack sides I think have been where Lev have really had a lot of ideas when it comes to the deadlock and the rest of this composition, but on the defense, want to see what else they have to offer. In this round, not a lot. It's the Guardian, it's pistols, an ultimate that will allow King to rotate maybe into the back of the B site if they need it, but other than that, the shoe is firmly on the other foot.
Take flight.
Well, this drone is not an indicator of where the push is coming through for us. We can see that Talon are looking for control elsewhere.
Over there.
Wrestling for a bit of mid. Breaking the wall. Making it look pretty clear that what they're attempting is an A split. And maybe that is what they're going for now. I start to see bodies shift, but yeah, indeed it is all a fake. They'll move back in the other direction. Calm's got a frenzy. They have to enter a killing frenzy here. 1 is all that he finds, and now the B site's wide open for the taking. Even the res used in this round, I don't think it was necessary, and he's been dropped right after.
Well, either the plan was to get Cruz another ultimate orb, or that was a little bit unlucky. I think the wall broke because of the res, and I guess the thing is, with Primi being 8-2, I think he was sat there waiting for an opportunity to use the res. Aspas upgraded, Vandal in hand. King has taken his gun as well, and now the players are somewhat trapped in. I am looking, though, at Governor. His position could be crucial.
Well, if he fires that recon, they're going to know. They absolutely know where he is now, but dealing with him might be another story. In they go, shorty in hand. Out comes the rifle, creates some space, and all he's doing is slowing them down. They can't focus on the side hit with this snake in the grass behind them, and you can see a staggered Lev. At this point, they've reset to just making this costly. They know there's players trapped on that site that need to make a move. B-main control is theirs. And now just looking to catch them on the way to spawn. Big peek, but a shot eventually lands. Mazzino out for a bit more, but he won't find it.
For King, just going down to the spike. Still going to be 3 standing for Talon. They rectify there. It looked like there could have been a moment where that got a little bit dangerous. You lose yourself a player early. Jitboys is now going to have his ultimate online as well, so another opportunity to bring someone back. And that's one of the things with this composition is there is 4 opportunities for 2 chances in a round. I think this literally is like the res comp. You've got the Sage res, you've got Clove who can bring themselves back from the grave, you've got Ban who can use the run it back to send himself in first, and then you've got the same for Cruz who can use that. Oh, come on, that's fast. Oh. He's 1 HP. Obviously that was the decay, but even still.
Well, the metal not quite getting the kill across the line this time. Quick reaction from Aspas keeps him alive, but the same can't be said for Mazzino. He's died over on the B site, and Talon now know they've got a bit more space to work with. Pumping the brakes, taking a slower rotation away from the A site, keeping it in the back of Lev's head. But they might still be going that way. We'll keep Aspas in position. The AWP on the other side of the map is exactly what they want. B is going to be the new target. And this, like you're saying, Tom, the zombie comp, the fact that these guys can keep coming back from the dead, it is a challenge that LEV may find very tough to play against. Again, it's not what they've played in scrims. I'll tell you that for sure. Probably the first time LEV are coming up against it, unless they've had a crazy ranked game. Spam close for Calm, but they've managed to evade it just about. And so the site control and the plant goes to Talon. The advantage, not quite there, but LEV have to push into them. And Aspas is miles away.
Privy, I feel like we're back on day one Ascent. Yeah, we're watching over the top of the wall, but doesn't quite get anything. Com does, though. This time the spam has connected. They're going to work out where Prim is as if they didn't already know, and he couldn't quite get the second. It looked like he was almost bang on, putting things into an advantageous position for that defensive side on the retake, and the shots just aren't connecting. Cruz trying to cling to life. And although the time was definitely getting a little bit lower, it's not going to be close.
Big round for Calm on the Odin, burring them down, and now find himself an ult with the defuse. Got himself a couple of orbs, so we're going to have the Hunter's Fury online and ready to go. What we're also going to have is a timeout called by Talon. They've been equalized in round 6, now 3-3. And coming into next round, Jip Boys has the ult to work with. Cruz does too. That's a couple opportunities to make mistakes and still rectify. They want to make sure that they take full advantage of that. Last map, 13-11. That's probably why we see such an early pause. They know that a micro adjustment in the previous might have made the difference. A pistol round would have. They don't want to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, I think as well, they're still in a position where their economy is incredibly strong. You don't want to allow that to reduce and give LEV too many rounds because, yeah, as we said, like they like the attack side of this map and they can be difficult to play against. I will say, I feel like they haven't played any comp even remotely close to this on this map. So, you know, it's definitely going to be one of those things that's super disruptive, and that will be the plan, similarly to what we saw in the last map. But I think just making sure that Talon themselves get enough attack rounds is going to be crucial, because bear in mind, it's a scenario where obviously I think we look at this group as a whole. I think Leviathan come in as clear favorites. People seem to be quite excited about Vitality and what they're going to be able to do, and we'll see that obviously in the next game. But for Talon, especially with how they've played so far, it does seem like there's a good opportunity for them to make out of this group.
Absolutely. Coming into today, I would have disagreed with that. But after seeing what I've seen up against a team like LEV, because it's one thing doing it regionally, it really is, but when you come up against a squad like this...
They haven't been doing it regionally.
That too. But even if you're a promising team there, how many times have we seen it? You step up to the international stage against a squad with champions winners on it. Often, it's a very different ball game, but in fact, I think it's LEV that have been most surprised, most put on back foot. Wall up, and the res coming through as a result. Undeniable. Cruz is back in the round.
Again, you see these multitude of reses. Jip Boys still has another opportunity. Aspas, though, is lurking around. A wrong angle taken or given up. In fact, it's going to be the flash. Not a bad trade, but even still, they lose Cruz. This time, they can't bring him back.
Well, Jip Boys goes down, and Jip Boys is back in the fight. Has a little bit of time to try to make this happen. Watch out for Deadlock. Already popped the ult, looking to detain somebody, and in fact, the player dies to the wall bang of Calm, who's pulling out the classic for a little bit more. Jip Boys denied a second wind, and Primi 80 HP. Spike down, 40 seconds left. Trap waiting on his left side if he runs down the stairs. He's heard it, so he knows he can't even stand there and shoot unless he finds the trap first. Nice shot onto Calm. Now the spike can be retrieved and site can be approached. Maybe the plant goes through, and a retake with King and Mizzino, two very strong players. But it's an opportunity for Primi to show what he's worth.
Spike planted.
We've already seen some impressive stuff. This would have to be the best, and
unlucky.
Unfortunate timing. A very quick response for the side of LEV. I think maybe expecting that the slow would actually slow them down, but it seems like they were just happy to walk through it and not give anything away. It will be the advantage taken once again for Leviathan. And for Talon, Well, I was going to say close, but I don't feel like that round was as close as it was. You think about the fact that they used the null command immediately. You also had the not dead yet, like the res from Jip Boys as well. Yeah. Like you're using 2 ultimates to bring someone back from the dead, and you're still having 2 full HP players on the other side, and wow, Com doing fantastic work for the back of the site.
Damn right he is.
Yeah, that classic kill was really nice.
No, Tom. Now the wall bang was better. Look at him. He's cold with it. 4-3 for LEV. They've taken the lead, and now Talon still able to buy up. This is the benefit of this squad, having such a solid early half. They've got credits for days. We'll see an Odin on Governor, looking to counter out the spams that have been coming through from Com, but this time again he finds himself on the other side of the map. You'll see this little bit of versatility, swapping up positions instead of being very repetitive and predictable. They've swapped it over to the B side hold with Tex alongside Mazzino. If they do run into this, they will be running into an absolute ton of utility, and the trap isn't in the main walkway either. They're further back, so these players won't know what they're running into until it's too late.
Oh, here we go again. Wall up on both sides.
And Hunter's Fury. Nice.
And that's going to lock them in, stuck in position. Com's already going to find an opener, and there's nowhere for Jip Boys to go. Primi, though, still on top of the wall, has managed to put this back into an advantageous position, and even better one. The only real issue for them now is that time. 30 seconds left on the clock. Com is waiting. In fact, the rotation's coming in from King back to the back of the site, exactly where he thrives. King is trying to slow them down, but it's going to be on Com. Everything's on Com to try and hold the line. The reposition, he's wary that he's being surrounded, and he is slowly closed in, and it's Primi with a 3rd kill of the round again. 13-4 right now.
Apparently he needed the Sage, not the Duelist. He was pretty good on the Yoru, but this is another level. Perhaps falling back to comfort. As we said, the Yoru was his 2nd ever official. He has that many under his belt, and he looked decent. Now, looking absolutely fantastic. The res used in this round, bringing a player back from the dead, and the fact that he, on top of the wall, drops Mazzino, who had those traps. You can still see them in a pretty difficult position. As well, when you're thinking about how Talon want to exit places like B main, you're going to be flashing, you're going to be running, you're going to be making noise. Those traps are getting you every single time. Dealing with those early, dealing with Tex as well, who had those other traps. Even if you get rid of the sonic sensors, you're walking into trap wires. That's not the case.
It's got to be infuriating as well for Mazzino, because you put down the barrier, you're like, okay, I blocked them out. I can now look to try and reclaim some control of the site. And you just forget about something that's so sort of like binary with it's like literally day 1 of the game. People are like, you can wall on top of stuff.
You see it in the replay. I mean, Mazzino was the 2nd guy to fall from that position. Tex had already died from there, so it really is an oversight. I like the wall, though, like you mentioned. The fact that it's just fish in a barrel for Com. Second you put that down, they're in a narrow alleyway. You're on the perfect angle over on A short. Fire away the ult, and, well, he had his reward, but it was quickly taken back by Primi's ultimate. 4-4, we're tied up, and again, Odin's bought up on both sides. I gotta say, I enjoyed Governor on the Neon. I'm liking his little attack side Odin so far. It's good to see.
Well, Aspas is going to be the first point of contact. I feel like they flashed him off every single angle he's ever tried to hold.
They have enough flashes to do it.
Yeah, it's basically just making it so that his impact is almost nullified. Like, we haven't seen that crazy performance from the superstar duelist just yet. He was definitely good on the first map.
Oh, yeah.
But the expectations are, well, second to none. Governor already looking to clear some angles. King is somewhat stuck in the mud. He doesn't have a way out of here. I don't know if there is going to be the check. It doesn't seem like there was. But even still, this has nothing to do with the play. They're going back the other way.
Well, here's a chance for Com again. The spams as they make it through the door. It's a little late on the setup. Instead, he's going to be trying to catch them, I guess, deeper in. Lots of pings coming in from Talon. Tex catches Jip Boys and corrects on a cruise. Ready for someone to be up top while Com spams away to ban and dodges the Hunter's Fury. There's nothing to be recovered here for Governor. I said I've enjoyed his Odin on this attack, but a 1v5 is a little too much to ask. Some damage done, but not enough.
Something else you mentioned, I think you cursed both players, if anything, is the wall, which broke as it was used. So he basically used it, fell off, and then even though Tex looks up, he's not being shy from that position. And I think maybe he gets one, but if there's a player up on the wall shooting back at him, I feel like he's almost screwed. So a slight mistake, obviously that happens sometimes with the Sage Wall, and then a fantastic round from Tex. Honestly, like you put the Guardian. We're seeing a lot of great Guardian plays. In our matches so far, I think Rien's had a few moments. Obviously, Young was insane. Like ace with it, so I feel like it speaks for itself. But 5-4. It really is just a back and forth at this stage. The streak coming out earlier, but LEV starting to stabilize, and this was just clean coming out from Tex.
It's gorgeous, really gorgeous. The wide swings as well, and he's just correcting one bullet onto them. Scream sat at home going, I told you this was the way. 5-4, Leviathan. They've taken the lead. Aspas, he's about to be flashed. I can tell you that for sure, because it's what happens every time. But this time, he gets his ones.
He might have had more op kills blind than being able to see.
In
like,
this
there was
map,
another
I think
one
so.
On the B site as well.
Yeah, I think, was it Ban as well? It was Ban's flash.
Yeah.
I don't know if he killed Ban.
I think it might have been. An early advantage there again. Com's taken quite a bit of damage. I guess the counter spams have forced him to fall back. But well, let's be real. Every time he's fallen back, he's become deadlier by the second. It doesn't look like this time there's going to be a flash, but there will be a smoke. However, Tex is watching.
Camera taken out.
Here.
Now they look for this split once again.
Oh, they just suppressed Tex. The trap wire on B lane's not active anymore, and Governor's able to swing as a result. 17 HP. Calm almost got his counterpart, but instead, he's the one spammed down, and Tex has to recover. He's got a double and kept them in it. Blade Storm active for Aspas. He has the operator, but he's using this to be the tip of the spear. Already fired off one knife and no success found. Paranoia goes through. Cruz and Primi sat on site. Smoke goes up. That keeps them with a little bit of protection. I like it from Jip Boys. That op's not going to be quite as effective, and even the Blade Storm, a risk will have to be taken. Aspas swaps out to the rifle. Now here comes the blitz. King's coming in from the laneway, from the stairs, pardon. The laneway is the Blade Storm. No, the shots don't land. It's messy. And it's King to bring it across the line, converting the kills and putting 6-4 on the scoreboard for LEV.
Yeah, I think the major thing that has now become an issue is pushing into Tex. The last couple of rounds, he has been so high impact in positions where maybe you expect him to get one. Especially after the sort of initial fights were almost traded with Com getting tagged so low. I think he almost sacrifices himself just to give an opportunity for Tex. And well, then there's King there at the end. 6-4. LEV starting to extend their lead. 4 of the last 5 rounds going in their direction, and a lot of what was there before was the Primi show. Like, it hasn't been anywhere near as impactful. Like, I think Governor, obviously not on the duelist anymore, but Bans, Phoenix, some of the flashes have caught players, but he has died almost every time.
Yeah, the results haven't been there so far. Still, good early half for Talon. Let's see if they can convert something later on. Caught in the net. Ban will go down. He's not had a good time when it comes to early duels. Rifle recovered at least by Cruz, so they're still in fighting form. But there is going to be a challenge now with this heavy of a disadvantage, with 2 Sentinels on the other side that you're pushing into. They've got to find their result somewhere. And, you know, if Primi was close to a res, maybe, but 4 orbs away, that's a bridge too far. Maybe you can farm them up, though, for the next.
They're hoping someone gives them the fight, and someone will. This time, no flash. And Aspas, he's just about made it back. If anything, his opponent's smoke has actually helped out a little bit. The wall is going to be there to at least block him off, but it's even whether or not it's worth just holding onto the guns at this point, Mitch. I'm not certain that trying to play this 2 versus 5 is really worthwhile for Talon.
It might be better to just hold on to the rifles, I agree with you. Especially for the players that are alive. Those are the ones that have the low credits. It's whether they'll be able to or not. They use the wall up on mid. They're known to be around that position. King was here quick enough to guarantee that they're either locked into that spot or
10 seconds
they've
left.
gone short. But he realizes quickly where they actually are as the wall breaks. 6 seconds left, and look who's close. Mazzino. It's Tex from far to find one. Mazzino's hot on them. They know Primi's here. They've revealed him, and the swing will delete any possibility of those rifles being carried forward. 7-4. 1 round to play for. Such a sick finisher.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome for sure.
Did you read Chronicles' 8 A4 page essay on why it's good?
No.
Oh. Nor did Durka, so it's okay.
We are the same person, so.
That's true, yeah. I should have known, my bad.
Except for the fact that he's younger, more handsome, more talented. Other than those things, we are the same person. 7-4. 5 of the last 6 rounds. It definitely seemed like, again, LEV took some time to get going, but in the late game of this defensive half, we're getting what we expected. Big individual plays, solid setups to force awkward fights for Talon, and I think also just shutting down what has been the major point of just, like, a lot of this comp allows for second chances, and we haven't seen, even if they do get the res off, or if they bring someone back from a null command, or even ban Zolt, it's barely been on the board because he hasn't been able to get many kills. They've dealt with it. And other than that 3-round streak, it's been a singular round since.
Well, the utility will be cut out to start this. Talon looking to approach, but, well, Aspas has other ideas. That shot almost lands. A block of ice gets in the way, and the second shot not quite quick enough. He can't go up and over with the updraft, but does some serious damage. Governor, well, he's getting healed up quite a bit. He'll be back up to 100. But Primi has lost his life in the meantime. A little off angle that they weren't expecting. Mazzino grabs it, cruises down, and now they're looking to seize that last player. He won't be in the cocoon, but he won't be in the round either. 8-4 as we close out this half, and Leviathan certainly got control of the reins by the end.
Oh no, they are in an excellent spot. As said, in their recent form, you look towards the attack side of this map of being where this team has really thrived, and honestly, I'm not certain if we're going to be able to see much more from it. Either way, we're going to be heading off to the half, and maybe they'll be able to come back in the next.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Say goodbye, our records play till we die. On the roof, yeah, we going up, yeah, we going up, baby. On the roof, yeah, on the roof, yeah, we going up, yeah, we going up, baby. You ready? Take the L sometimes. I swear I might lose my mind. Brains all good and fried up. Anxious fool going higher. Blowing the weight, I'm tired. But still construct an empire. Achieve that glory in the magazine. Right, repeat, it's my story. Bulletproof. Bulletproof. On the roof. Yeah, we going up. Yeah, we going up, baby. Bulletproof. Bulletproof. On the roof.
Welcome back to half 2 of map 2 in what could be the last of the series. Talon put up one hell of a fight on Bind, and it started out well here, but Leviathan, they gained control and they were not letting go. A couple of surprise plays, but we're going to hope for a lot more out of Talon in this second half. And like you said, Tom, the attack for Lev, it's not weak.
No, not whatsoever. They've destroyed G2, Crew, MIBR in the last stage, so I don't think they're going to be feeling too worried about going into the second half. Again, the main thing with this composition for Talon is just to be that little bit more disruptive, opportunities for second chances, but that hasn't been the case. Ban having a rough showing, Cruz as well, his first half is similarly to what we saw in the last map, and there needs to be a serious turnaround if they're going to stand any chance in this map.
Yeah, we're going to need to see a different level from Talon. The same level that we saw in the last map, but catching players off guard. It was easier to do on Bind. That was a crazier comp. This one, you're bringing players back from the dead, and often they're still falling flat. Let's see, 8-4, a strong lead for Leviathan, and the pistols have been going well. They find this one, it's another nail in the coffin of the Pacific number 4.
Not already. We see exactly what's expected of this defensive side. An early peek, or an early push even, coming all the way through B, and gone, well, he spotted it. He's seen it. He's going to call for the cavalry. They're going to try and fight this. They want to brawl with the side of Talon, but for now it's just an even trade. And Talon think better of it, but it's pushing them back in towards Tex, who is now hiding within the site. It seems like they have an idea. Ban definitely has an idea. Unfortunately, he can't do anything about it, and now they're going to continue to battle and brawl. Mazzino lost, but Tex is going to get that spike, and they're waiting for Jit Boys. It's left on to Primi.
A man who can definitely bring this across the line, even in a tough situation like this. Leviathan need to be careful, and they don't know where he is. They found out, though. Tex, phenomenal round from him. Clean shots across the board. A 9-4 locked in. That's a devastating blow to the side of Talon. Coming into this half, no doubt they were hoping for that pistol.
Well, as well, you have to talk about Tex on the first map. Like, he definitely had a rougher time over on that Gecko, right near the bottom of the board alongside Mazzino. He's been a different beast. Like, the amount of multi-kills he's had with the Guardian, the Ghost in this one, like, these are high-impact rounds that he's been taken over the line. Now matches up to Primi on the other side of the board, who's exactly the person we expected him to be. This high-caliber aim player. There just hasn't been much else. Aspas, who's surprised? He's got himself another outlaw.
I'm not surprised, but I'm pleased, to say the least. Alongside a lot of pistols, 2 Ghosts carried through, Bulldog and a Spectre. Pretty interesting buy. A lot of potential for it. Ranged fights, Tex and King just picking up weapons and ensuring that they don't lose too much in terms of the economy, even if they do take a loss or two. Giving respect to Talon, and, well, I'm very glad that's the case because this squad has earned it. For now, though, Leviathan, take a look at the map. You can see the spike. It was shifting to the right side alongside Mazzino. They looked like they wanted to hit A. At that point, Talon were stacked up. It looked like a bad call. But now, Talon make their way back to B. They're gambling. You've got classics. Chances are if you play a default, you're just going to lose player after player and then play a retake where you're dying to the spike. Instead, they're going to roll the dice and play together.
Yeah, and the dice have gone in their favor this time. A lot of utility.
30 seconds left.
And they now have to go for this. Mazzino leading the charge. Shock darts being used to try and soften them up, but it hasn't caused too much in terms of damage. 2 kills or more is needed for this to be costly. There's already the first for the trades. Coming in thick and fast. How has Primi come out with 2? It's now left on to just Aspas. Into a 1v2 scenario, and they managed to win it based off the stack. A great read, a great gamble from Talon that's put them back in the map.
I don't know what Cruz saw there because they were starved of information. I really do think this is just a blind pick. Let's stack up on the site that gives us the best chance. Lots of nasty little angles to hold on B. Let's go for it. And if not, we run and we die to the spike afterwards.
What?
That's outrageous.
Free
the follow-up as well.
Free gun.
Fan picking up the Spectre and then spraying it down to take Aspas. Well, they might have hoped for the pistol. It looks like they've got something better. Now 1-1 in the half, but Talon pushed Leviathan down to next to no cash. The only thing that they've got to work with in this round is a rifle on Aspas.
The only thing they have is...
the danger is they've got a rifle on Aspas. You need to be very careful about taking a fight against this guy. He's swinging into 2, though. He's realized it now, and he's got Cruz out in the open, 11 HP. There's no way out. Surely he's gone.
Oh, hello! Oh, I thought Governor might get all of them. It is E-code players. But there was a hope that that could have been the fastest 4K maybe in history. Unfortunately, not going to be the case.
I was very ready for it, Tom. I was very ready. 9-6.
I think that would have been the most excited anybody had ever got for a 4K on E-code players.
Versus pistols, yeah. Be hailing this man as the best player of all time. He did some good damage, but it doesn't take the cake. We got to see a little more. 9-6. 3-round gap. Rifles out for Leviathan. You've got Talon with a run it back. Ban has it. And defensive side, I'm curious if it's going to be used off rip. I see his position. It's unlikely. That's for sure. Nice angle. He's a cultured spammer. Not just the conventional spot that can be spammed back on so easily, instead trying to catch him on the way through. I love it. Hasn't worked out. No one was there. Reveal goes up. No one there. Not a lot of information to work with for the side of Talon, except that there might be a play coming in towards the A site. 3 players stacked up on A short, Tom. I expect I'm going to see a push coming through with a smoke up. I don't know if that will delay them or just get them to flash through.
This is the thing. This is the special from Cruz. He loves to go for these pop flash plays. Even still, it's only going to be the 1-for-1 trade. The ult was lost in the middle. Governor waiting. It's another kill with the Odin and the spam back on the other side, but the advantage sits with Talon.
2 players spotted, and they know where Calm is. That's every piece of information there for the side of Talon. They've got all the players jotted down in their positions. 45 seconds left. Nade is good. It's forced King back. He can't take the space any longer. Smoke goes down. An attempt to delay them that little bit further to make them think it's still an A hit while they shift to the other side of the map. 33 seconds left. And it's only one player on B.
Left.
Governor, Reveal, Shock Dart, and an Odin. He's going to have to do it by himself. If he goes down without a kill, this round may be favored to Lev again.
He's, again, just holding an off angle. He's not going to get hit, but it's King with the drive-by. Odin gone, sight gone, and it's going to have to be the retake. This was looking like a solid position from Talon, but it's very quickly divulged into an advantage for the other side. And with the TP online for King, he can reposition late into the round if needed. But it seems like with the attack side Odin, they're going to hold that back site.
Yeah, now this is where the trouble begins. You've already used the reveal at least, but Calm just firing out shock darts. A little misread on how quickly Talon are looking to take this. Only now stacking up and making the push. They've caught Calm, they've caught King. It's Aspas to do it all. And Brimmy hits it quick as can be. 3v3 retake, and all members of Talon, the 3 that went in, are left standing in the end. 9-7, the scoreline's closing, and the defense is looking good.
Primi is definitely the guy that was promised to us. Like, right now, let's just, I want to see the scoreboard. He is 21-9. The next 3 players on his team combined have the same amount of kills. Like, it's actually ridiculous. Like, there's not even anyone remotely close to this guy within the server. We talked about whether or not he could match up to Aspas. I'll be honest, right now it seems like can he match up to Tex, because he's been the guy who's been really performing for the side of Lev, but this guy definitely has a talent, and with such a short amount of time playing within the professional scene, future is incredibly bright.
Oh yeah, this guy's got a high ceiling, and it's only going to grow. You know, when I first heard about him, to kill Yos and Paperthin, their word means nothing to me. years of telling me, guys, this is the time. DRX are going to win it. Oh, they're so good. Bomb out, bomb out, bomb out. But Mika told me. That's when I started to take it seriously. Okay. I started to believe.
Source.
Exactly. Someone who does just run their mouth.
Achilles walking in, opens up his DRX notepad and goes, yes, I think this person's quite good. Oh, really? Thank you, Mr. Pacific. I'm going to wait and see.
I've never met a more biased man, and that's coming from me.
Yeah, I think there's a few people who disagree with you there.
But yeah, I have to say, they were right this time around. Primi is impressive. He's 21-9. The next, that's actually insane. I hadn't even really paid attention to the 21-9. The next guy has 7. Yeah. He's single-handedly
to add 3
carrying
people together
squad.
At this point, it has to be fairly low.
Oh my God.
Well, they are still 2 rounds behind. The difference on the other side is, yeah, we are seeing more of a team performance. But if Primi can pad the gap until someone else rises to the occasion, that would be nice for the side of Talon. Like I said, they're definitely still on the back foot here. But this round, going to be a couple of rifles. The Guardian in Tex and Aspas's hands, you can always have high hopes. And actually the A site relatively open. It looks like almost an immediate attempt for a retake setup. I don't know if King's going to get out of this one alive. He will, and well, unfortunately the lurk of Tex has been dealt with. Aspas, though, has gotten walkabouts and even things right back up.
He was up in heaven a bit quicker than they were expecting. Finding himself the 1, keeping things doable, but with the weaker weapons, they have to hope that Talon go diving in, give them opportunities, flank play coming in. Calm is the one sent back to watch it. Rez onto Governor. Now the advantage is there for Talon. And the flank from Ban is so late. There's no way they check it. Curious to see his impact in this round. Spam good. King's down. That's only the pistol. It's Aspas that I'm worried about. He's up top, looking for the fight, and the blind is absolutely perfect. Can't see a thing, and now he's left alone to do it all, and Cruz up close, quick scopes him out.
I'd love to just have a counter for how many times Aspas has been holding an angle ready to fight and a pop flash gets him.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I know they've got a lot of flashes, but even still, it always seems to be in the right place to just cause issues for him. I think credit to Cruz and Bam for that. I want credit again for them to hold the line, because that could have got dangerous. Like, you had Annihilation online for Mazzino. If this gets into like even a 2v2 scenario or even like a little bit less, he's going to be able to isolate one of those fights and potentially battle back, but they are so controlled and calm.
It's been a very strong performance for Talon. You just mentioned that, yeah, they have a lot of flashes. In the last round, they didn't even use any of Ban's. He was on the flank. So, like, the thing is, even in rounds where they're only firing 1 or 2, they're hitting their mark every single time. They're putting Lev on the back foot. It's been an impressive game so far, and I have to say, I'll be the first to put my hands up and say I underestimated Talon coming into this tournament. We know their upset potential, but someone like Primi delivering this level of play is unfathomable. Lev have taken a bit of control. We've seen this a couple of times in Americas. They're putting their trap outside A, stopping any aggressive peeks. Again, if you're going to peek that, you're going to do it with a flash. You're not going to shift walk it. You're going to swing it. That's when the trap's going to get you. Nice shot by Tex. Well, that's the man that you need to take down. And the best part is he can't bring himself back to life.
Yeah, no matter how many kills he gets. Oh, he's going to get caught. Annihilation utilized. There's nobody even remotely close to try and deny that one from happening. That's an easy kill for Mazzino. A lot of the time that ult will go astray. Governor rotating into position, but they're going to be revealed. Jip Boys is going to try and catch a timing, and he has done just that, but he doesn't get anything for it. The movement too good. The pop flash is great, but so is the net. Well, Governor, it's going to be the same again. Good round from King. Lev extend their lead just as Talon start to get a little bit too close.
Big round from Mazzino's Deadlock. You're seeing some of the potential, not just in the obviously, Annihilation getting a kill, the fact that you have the net then trapping the player who can't evade and get back into the smoke or even use his movement, but the fact that you have the trap outside A as well, it just means that in the back of their mind, they're relatively safe. Obviously, there's always the potential for what we saw, which was Jip Boys running it down, making it behind them. But
how many times have we seen Ban full blind someone and then immediately die? I know that this is an occasion where it's like, okay, there's nothing you can do. Yeah. But it's like, even with Aspas blind upping him a couple of times, like, it's got to be, like, he obviously won't have too much of an idea, but it's got to be really irritating.
It definitely gets spooky, though, when you saw Jip Boys get behind mid with the reveal coming in from Cypher, and still no one's looking at him, but King recovered. Little triple to finish it off, and 10-8. With the last pause from Talon being used here and now, they know that Leviathan are about to enter the home stretch. Talon's economy is good, and they can bounce into the next round, even if they lose this with a bye. So this is a very essential time to get your game plan leveled out, to streamline the play.
I think as well, you have to talk about, again, looking at history, looking at Talon, looking at Xerxia, looking at X10. This map was the map. This was the map where they did damage to teams like Optic back in the day. This was their defensive side as well. They always had these cool little awkward trap plays that teams had to fight through. I think the flashback that I got was when Cruz did that pop flash over the top of mid with KO, because they were always doing stuff like that, disgusting trap plays. So I have no doubt they have plenty of depth and ideas. But once the streak is broken, I think it's a good time to take a pause from Frost and just go, okay, this is where we know that Lev are going to go, okay, well, we've just done it off this. We were patient, we were controlled, we took our time, we didn't fall into any of the traps. We can now just sort of like push off of this moment. So he wants to try and deny that, get his players' heads back in the game, because up until this point, the defensive side has looked great from them.
Oh, absolutely. One bump in the road. Let's see if it's going to shake Talon, or if they can get right back into the rhythm. Early peak from the operator of Ban. The same can be said for Aspas. He's looking for a mistake to be made. Nobody on the A site. Talon playing much further back. And they will be ready for this short push. Lev just about to walk around the corner, and it's a clean shot from Ban. Although the Hunter's Fury is activated, looking for some victims. Nice kill coming in from Jip Boys. The numbers stay favored for Talon. And they've got the control. They've got control with the wall inside B main, but they've rotated fully, leaving that side of the map open.
Yeah, it's mainly middle where the biggest threat will be. I think the timing from Primi is pretty much perfect. I mean, he knows when that wall is going to break, makes his way back into the site before anybody could possibly get through. The only problem is middle, and there you go. It's been completely abandoned. Governor will fall, puts things back into an even scenario and puts the pressure back onto this young man again. 14 seconds left, they've dashed past, but he's repositioned, looking to hold the line, and Aspas obliterates him. Not this time. 2 remain to try and pull this back for Talon.
Oh, they're still going to try it. Cruz ult not that useful here realistically, and with Jit Boys walking it through, the flash was there to fight out of the smoke. They didn't expect someone to be in it and running through his own nade. Cruz going to try to make it work. You can see it, the writing on the wall. It could have been the play. Instead, Leviathan push up to 11, now 2 away from taking the series 2-0. And that scoreline won't represent how close this has been. But for Talon, it's not over yet. They've still got the credits on most players. They can get a buy-up and try to stop them here.
Attacks again. That missed the impact. Every single time he's just finding a gap, finding a spot, and well, Aspas just jumping into the site. I love the way that Cruz's brain works, though. I made jokes in the last map with his TPs, but the fact he throws a fragment down, jumps into it,
flashes,
and then flashes because you don't expect somebody to go pushing through their own utility, just using timings in the moment to try and catch people off guard. And he did. The flash was sublime.
Almost had it.
Yeah.
Well, shots were close. Not close enough. 11 to 8.
The ults are scary here. Like, you've got yourself that Hunter Spirit for Calm. I feel like it always has impact, like almost every single time. Yep. Like, the guy is so good at putting it into play at the perfect moment. And also, they're waiting with the operator. As you said, there is that sensor, there's the sound. You're not just going to dry peek that. And so Aspas immediately has the information and has the protection. If they were to actually try and push that, they're going to be dead.
I think in a normal fight they would be. Add to that the stun for sure. I like Ban's position. A nice try. The shot doesn't quite connect. Paranoia forces him back. He's got support though. Cruz is holding it from the side. He's been spotted. Mazzino needs to decide whether he wants to commit to this, and it looks like he does. Caught Cruz. Down he goes. Can be revived, but the time's starting to run out and no one close enough to do so. That's a player down.
Doing it again.
Leviathan 5 versus 4 with control over the A site. But yeah, Jit Boys had some serious success here in catching them off. He couldn't find the kills, but this time it's different.
It's only going to be the one, though. And then that's the problem. It almost seems too little too late. There's going to be Aspas just executing Privy, and he wants a little bit more. Feeling it at this point. Plant will finally come in, but look, the wall is blocking off another. And Aspas just holding onto the angle. Got so much still to play with Jit Boys. Well, he's going to try and bring himself back from the dead, and he will. But they're just running away from him. They're avoiding him. They want him to try and make a play through this, and in the meantime, Aspas is still holding on to heaven. That's where Jit Boys will be sent as well. 12 to 8. 1 needed. Again, Talon have been competing. But Leviathan, they've been the ones weathering the storm.
And now the real problem, those credits are low. Light shields, guardians, weaker weapons are going to come into play. Mazzino's pick, beautiful. This leaves the A side open. Allows them to swing without worrying about the site itself. The fact that he wins that is slightly ridiculous, and, well, stuck around but didn't show himself. So eventually, Governor got a little distracted. Hell of a turnaround as well. Governor, you can see, on that duelist on Neon, he was unbelievable. Now, a little bit more of a struggle there. That can be said for the squad of Talon as well. 4 chances to close this out. Hunter's Fury still there for Calm, but Ban has his own ultimate. Oh, see where this goes.
They've caught him with the net. That's
done.
So disgusting. The combinations that this team are pulling out. Jit Boys didn't stand a chance in hell. He's crouched in a corner, just waiting for death. I love the way that they're utilizing this deadlock. And well, Ban, they're just going to wait. They're gone. Oh, nice ult, bud.
Well, at least he gets to run it back. Another chance.
They could have walked it back.
Leviathan, you're making me a Deadlock fan, and I almost hate you for it. And there's some serious ideas behind this squad. Talon as well. It's been interesting, but here is their final stand, potentially. Already 1 man down. Aspas grabs Cruz on the quick blitz. Mazzino follows up as well. Governor and Primi, 2 big players in the last map. And for this squad now have it all to do. 5 players to take down, 3 more rounds after. It's not an easy feat, and it's left just to this man. He's shy of an ace. 4 more kills needed to lock it in, to close this round, and then look for 3 more. It's a long road back. And it looks like Leviathan have done it. The time ticking away, and 3-man firing squad waiting for the swing. It's done. America's #1 for a reason. Leviathan take it 2-0.
Yeah, I think an incredible performance from either side. Like, honestly, I think we came in looking at Talon and going, okay, they're probably going to get bullied out of this server. And then just going across the scoreboard, you can see the value that every single player on the Leviathan side was bringing, the ideas that they have with an agent, again, that I think is going to become more and more popular. And Mazzino is going to be one of the players that people are keeping an eye on. But the fact that every single time there was layers to the ideas, layers to what they were running. But this squad on the stage right now, Talon, they've impressed. Like, in that first map, it very easily could have been theirs. And in this map as well, there was a point where the comeback looked possible. This is one of the most creative teams we have in all of Valorant, and I love watching them play.
Oh, they were a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. Primi has definitely taken the cake, but on the first map, Governor certainly made a name for himself. This is an impressive debut on that stage, but we need to see more from them, and we will. For Leviathan, though, they've done as expected. They've come in, they've made it 2-0, but against Pacific's number 4, I've got to say, there was a bit of a struggle there. The level seems to be increasing here at Champs, and there's no free wins anymore.
No, that's the main thing, though. It's that even if you come into that first game, even if you're one of the favorites for the whole tournament, as long as you get the dub, as long as you get it over the line, and I think in each map you could see the corrections. You could see the adaptations for what is the crazy stuff they're coming up against. Because I do think that you look at it from Talon's point of view, if you try and play against LEV at their own game, you were going to lose. So you had to pull out something different. You had to pull out something unique, and that's exactly what they did. The difference, though, is Leviathan are a team good enough that they can go, okay, you've done that. You've caught us at times. Like, there were pauses. I think, again, you have to give credit over the coaching staff on the other side to, okay, this is the moment I need to slow this down. This is the moment I need to trade things out. And the same for Frost as well on Talon. It seemed like it was a game of chess with, well, one team using completely different pieces to what we're used to, but it was an enjoyable match, and we didn't just sit there and go, LEV destroyed them, moving on. I think Talon now have a very real chance to actually make it out of the group and potentially get to the playoffs.
No, absolutely. At this point, coming in, they were an underdog pick for me. Now, though, I can see them going blow for blow with some of the other squads, especially with these nasty comps, and who knows what they're going to be working on in the coming days. We'll definitely see some interesting takes on how to play this game from Talon. It's been wonderful watching them play, but Leviathan take the cake here today. It has been a phenomenal game. It's time to throw it down the Verizon post-match interview with Aspas.
Welcome to the post-match interview. I have Aspas here. Everybody give it up for Aspas! 아스파스 선수 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 승리 축하드립니다. 개막전, 그러니까 레비아탄의 첫 경기부터 바인드에서는 네온 요루를 상대하고 센터에서는 또 탈론의 좀비 메타를 상대해야 했었는데 오늘 경기 그리고 아스파스 선수의 퍼시픽 팀 체험기 한번 먼저 들어보고 싶네요. Congratulations, Aspas, on that win. Now, right off the bat, you guys had to face Talon's Neon Yoru comp on the bind. Also, their zombie comp that they showed off in Pacific on Ascent as well. So, what was that Pacific team experience like for you?
It was really different. They had some crazy comps and a crazy play style, but it was fun playing against them.
굉장히 재밌었고 뭔가 생소한 조합들을 많이 보여줬는데 그래도 너무너무 재밌는 신기한 경험이었다고 얘기를 하네요. 그러면 또 레비아탄의 어센트 사이퍼 데드록 조합에서 이런 좀 어떤 의미를 두고 있는지도 물어보고 싶거든요. 어떤 팀들은 좀 이 사이퍼 조합, 데드록 사이퍼 조합을 좀 싫어하기도 하고 아니면 계속해서 기용하는 그런 팀들도 있는데 레비아탄의 입장에서는 이 사드록 조합을 어떻게 평가하고 있는지 들어보고 싶습니다. Now, I want to ask you about that Cypher deadlock you guys ran on Ascent because some teams love it, some teams decide not to touch it. So what did you guys see in the Cypher deadlock?
I think the Cypher deadlock, it's a comp that suited our playstyle on Ascent. We had a lot of problems with the normal comp in the past. We tried a lot of times, didn't work out. And the Cypher deadlock is working for us because we found a type of playstyle that was being really good for us.
확실히 레비아탄에게는 좀 사드록 조합이 굉장히 팀 스타일에 잘 맞는 것 같았고 좀 다른 조합들은 예전에 쓰던 조합들은 특히나 좀 레비아탄의 스타일에 있어서 적합하지 않은 부분이 있었기 때문에 이 사드록 조합을 굉장히 잘 기용하고 또 잘 맞는 것 같다고 얘기를 합니다. 그러면 아스파스 선수 이제 또 아시아 서버에서 랭크도 많이 돌렸고 또 현재 와서 좀 퍼시픽 팀들과 많이 랭크를 돌렸을 것 같은데 좀 아메리카스 팀들에 비해서 그리고 아메리카 서버에 비해서 좀 어떤 큰 차이점이 있는지도 들어보고 싶네요. So you guys probably scrimmed a lot of Pacific teams here, and also you played a lot of ranks in the Pacific server as well. So what do you think is the biggest difference when it comes to the playstyle compared to how things are in Americas?
I think the players here are so aggressive. Even in ranked, they are much more aggressive than in NA. And the screens as well. Everyone is just crossing smokes like in ranked, so they are a lot more aggressive.
전반적으로 랭크와 그리고 플레이 스타일 모두 굉장히 공격적이고 그리고 아메리카스보다 그리고 NA 서버보다 굉장히 공격적이라고 얘기를 합니다. 그래서 좀 여기서 랭크를 돌리면 모두들 그냥 스모크를 가로질러서 대시 긁은 다음에 다들 그냥 공격을 하는 그런 모양을 보여주고 있었기 때문에 좀 그런 점이 큰 차이라고 얘기를 하네요. 이렇게 해서 아스파스 선수 만나봤습니다. 다시 한번 박수 부탁드릴게요. Thank you, Aspas, and best of luck in your next matchup.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for staying with us for the post-match interview. We're going to throw it off to a short break, but don't go anywhere because we have Vitality taking on Trace Esports.
Life is a series of choices, reciprocating the loud voices. It's perpetual license, no
나 이거 시작한 지 언젠지 하도 힘을 주고 있더니 지금도 뻐근한 내 어깨 내가 지금 뱉고 있는 가사는 대체 뭘 위한 건데 모를 거야 난 평생 내 선생 또 선배는 너를 정내 플레이리스트에 남들과 좀 다른 게 들어왔지 눈에 투면 내 same thing 비슷해 보이는 것 빼고 골라서 선택 It is the mistake For the cash, for the fame 관심 없어 난 내 가사에만 몰입해 계속 work on 믿었어 그럼 따라온다고 잔스레 근데 항상 따라붙는 조바심 내 버릇이 잡아먹는 강박 내 목소리를 팔아 남들 다 하는 얘기 말고 진짜 내 living life 다 끝내 눈 감아 뭐 접어 그 전까지 날 붙잡고 있는 것은 다름 아닌 사랑 It's love What is love? I don't know Nobody heard 어느새 내가